what? They was having some issues on here.
Yep, there it is. It just took a little while longer, and
Okay.
then I need to hit it over here,
Okay.
which is boom. I see us.
All righty.
Should we get the thumbs up from our moderator?
All righty. Righty.
Make sure this volume is down too for this.
Okay.
Oh, I guess I can check too while we
Okay.
both can see it.
Okay. She said we're good. We're live now.
All right, all right. Well, happy Sunday, Miss Lee.
Yes.
Happy
Happy
Sunday, Miss
Sunday,
TJ.
BB. Yes.
Yes,
Happy
yes.
Sunday, Miss TJ.
Welcome back, everybody. I am not going to do the greeting. Miss Lee's going to do it all. I have a slight cold, so my voice is kind of won't let me talk for too long. I just want to say I love you all. So glad that we are back. I will be posting pictures of our fun adventure to Disney World we had last week. It was absolutely wonderful. And I hope
Mhm.
that you all had a absolutely marvelous, marvelous Halloween. If you took any pictures, please post them so we can see your costumes. I'm
Yes.
sure all of you look very, very cute.
Yes. I have to post my pictures. Miss TJ and myself took pictures for Halloween, so I have to post them on here so you guys can see what we were
Yeah,
dressed as well. So I'll do that tonight.
absolutely. Be so much fun. I'm going to turn the floor over to you. I didn't want to reschedule or anything tonight. I was so excited about being here. I don't feel that bad. It's just this cough and this cold thing that keeps taking my voice away. So I'm going to turn it over for you. And
All right.
everybody, I hope you all have your. It's getting chilly. Fall
Yes,
is here. I hope you
almost
have
here.
your blankets and your
Yes.
quilt. Leah tell you all about it, but I've got mine, and I'm warm, and I'm ready to hear this story. So take it away, Miss Lee.
All right. Thank you, Miss BB. Hope you feel better. Love you, love you, love you.
Love
We're
you.
so happy to be here. You know what? Like Miss BB said, fall is officially here. Excuse me as well. Just a little under the weather. You know what? Fall, sometimes allergies act up. We get the coughing, sneezing. Just make sure we keep our hands washed. I mean, all day, every day, because so many germs in the air right now that people are getting sick. I mean, easily. So if I do cough a little bit, please excuse me. I'll take a break and drink some water. But we are just happy to be here with you all. We didn't get to be together last weekend. And once Miss BB is all better, she will let us know about her fun trip to Florida. She was with her grandsons. It was Mr. Zaire's birthday. So happy belated birthday to you, Mr. Zaire. I saw some of the pictures. They're wonderful. Looks like they had a great time. And we'll hear about that next Sunday. Before we start, I wanted to give you all well wishes and blessings for the week ahead. Usually I know Miss BB does it, but I'm her voice for tonight. So I'm going to start off with just, like I said, well wishes and blessings for the week ahead. I know some of you will not be in school tomorrow or Tuesday. A lot of times it's teacher work day and parent teacher conferences. So if you are at home tomorrow, at daycare, or at a relative's house, we just want you all to have a safe and blessed day, a safe and blessed week. Have fun, laugh, play, learn, just have a good time. We just pray for blessings for each and every one of you, for the parents, grandparents, all relatives. Blessings to you all. We love you so much. We're glad to be here tonight. And like Miss BB said earlier, we hope you have your quilts ready. I have a wonderful story, and it is called The Quilt Story. Perfect for the fall, because we all need our quilts. It's starting to get a little chilly out there. So I hope you enjoy The Quilt Story. A little girl's mother made the quilt to keep her warm when the snow came down long ago. She stitched the quilt by a yellow flame, humming all the time. She stitched the tails of falling stars, and she stitched the name Abigail. Abigail loved the quilt. She wrapped it around her in the quiet dark and watched the winter skies. Sometimes she saw a falling star. Sometimes Abigail played in the woods near her home. She had tea, her dolls had tea, and the quilt had tea all over it. She's loving her quilt. She has her doll on the quilt, having a tea party. Sometimes she pretended the quilt was a gown. She wore it to town on her horse. Clop, clop, clop. And it tore. So her mother stitched it up once more. That's okay. Her mom stitched up the quilt. Sometimes that happens with your favorite blanket or your quilt. You'll get a tear in it and you could just get it stitched up again. Sometimes she played hide and seek with her sisters. She laughed and cried, "Don't peek!" and hid under the quilt, and everyone found her. Sometimes Abigail was sick. She sneezed and sneezed. Then she slept under the quilt, and she felt better. Now that looks like Miss BB. She's going to need her quilt tonight because she's a little under the weather. So her quilt will help her to feel better and keep her warm. And what makes it even more fun is that quilt was her mom's quilt. So I know Miss BB's really going to wrap up tight with her mom's quilt. One day, Abigail's family moved away across wide rivers and over a rock hard trail. The quilt went too, not stuffed in trunks with the blankets and clothes. It kept the little girls warm from the wild winds, warm from the rain, warm from the sparkling nights. Abigail loves that quilt. It's a beautiful quilt. They built a new house in the woods. Abigail's father built it with his hatchet, chop, chop, chop. He built her a new bed, chip, chip, chip. He made her a new horse, too. He worked until curly shavings covered the floor, and everyone sneezed and said, "Welcome home," and was glad, and Abigail felt sad. I wonder why Abigail feels sad. Let's read on. We can find out why she feels so sad. New house, new horse, new bed. Everything smelled of fresh chops and chips. Everything but the quilt. So her mother rocked her as mothers do, then tucked her in, and Abigail felt at home again under the quilt. I think just all the newness, the new house, the new smell. She wanted to be reminded of her own home. In the old home, had a different smell, different look, but the quilt was there. The quilt felt like home, even in the new home. One day, when the quilt was very old and very loved, Abigail folded it carefully and put it in the attic. Everyone forgot it was there. A gray mouse came and loved the quilt. Her babies were born on top of it. They grew fat and gray in the warm stuffing. When they got hungry, they ate a falling star. Oh, they ate some of the quilt. They made that their new home. Abigail forgot it was in the attic. She packed it up and put it away. A raccoon came and loved the quilt. She dug a hole in the corner and her black paws and hid an apple there. A cat came and loved the quilt. A patchwork cat. It rolled on the stars and stuffing spilled out like snow. Then the cat curled up in the snow and purred. Wow. Different animals are coming into the attic and they love the quilt. A raccoon, a cat. I hope they don't destroy the quilt too much, but we're going to find out. Kitty Kitty called a little girl. She found her cat and she found the quilt, splashed with patterns of sun. The little girl wrapped the quilt round her and she loved it too. Wow, a new little girl found the quilt in the attic when she lost her cat. Wow, the cat went to the attic and that cat fell in love with the quilt. Then the little girl found her cat in the attic and she wrapped herself around the quilt. This quilt is getting a lot of love. Can you make it like new? She asked her mother. So her mother patched the holes. She pushed fresh stuffing in it. She stitched long tails on the stars to swish across the quilt again. So the new little girl took the quilt to her house and asked her mom to fix it. And her mom did. She stitched it up, put more stuffing in there. And that was nice. I wonder if Abigail's going to realize that that quilt is missing. One day, the little girl's family moved away across miles and miles of pavement and snaking gray highways. They found a new house, freshly cleaned, freshly waxed, freshly painted white. So the new little girl that found Abigail's quilt and her family moved, and they took the quilt to their new house. Wow, this quilt is traveling around. Let's see. They unpacked all night, and everyone sneezed on cardboard dust and said, "Welcome home," and was glad. And the little girl felt sad. Everything smelled of white paint and boxes. Everything but the quilt. Just like Abigail when she first moved into her new house. So her mother rocked her as mothers do, then tucked her in, and she felt at home again under the quilt. And that is the end of the quilt. See Abigail's name on that quilt? Because it first was Abigail's quilt. Abigail grew older and she put the quilt away in the attic, and a new little girl fell in love with the quilt and took it. So now just the story continues with someone new, and I wonder what's going to happen with her. She may get older and pack it away, and another child might find it and just gets passed along. That's just too cute.
It is, and you know something. There are something special about quilts. My mom didn't make it, but it was her quilt.
Right.
And my mom, you know, if some of you may know that my mom's not with us anymore physically. So for the longest time, I could still smell her scent in it.
Yes.
And I would get sick and different things like that and have to wash it. But I have a bottle of her favorite perfume. So when I wash it, I spray it with it. But it's funny that all those, the different animals, you had
Yes.
the mice, you had the raccoon, the cat,
Mhm.
and a new little girl, and all of them loved that quilt. Well,
Yep.
every time JR is not feeling good or downstairs on the couch, he happens to be under this quilt. And it's like, people know that your mother, your grandmother, those that are the nurturers in the family, sometimes you're not feeling good and just being around them makes you feel better. So
Yes.
that quilt serves as like being someone's nurturing hands that put their hands into making that quilt. And when you put that quilt on you, you get that comfort that you need. That's why kids have so many their favorite blankets and
Yes.
favorite quilts because it's so comforting. And it's nothing like being wrapped up in it when you're not feeling good.
Exactly. Exactly.
Even if
You're right.
you're sad, even if you're sad, it's comforting,
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
it's
Familiar.
really
That one
important.
thing that's familiar to you, like your favorite toy, or
That's right.
so familiar, and you
Mhm.
instantly feel at home. They moved, Abigail and her family, but that quilt was familiar. That felt like home.
Right.
You
And
know.
the first one was it Abigail that had it first. You
Right.
know, if she got older and she put it in the in the attic and
Yeah.
everything, another little girl found it. So it's
Yep.
still being used for its purpose. Abigail may have gotten older and now another little girl needs it, and this little girl, when she gets older and puts it away, somebody else or
Yes.
another animal may need it.
Exactly. Yeah. Because that quilt was loved by animals as well.
Yeah. Everybody kept keeping it around and restoring it, and
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
sure that it's gonna go far. So it would be interesting to see if there was another story to see
That's
where
what
the
I was wondering. I thought, you know what? I kept asking, is Abigail going to realize that the quilt is gone? But you know what? Abigail grew up and she just probably went off on her own, didn't even
Yeah,
realize it
you
anymore.
know,
That's
because
pretty cute.
that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be, passed down to somebody who needs it, even if it's not necessarily in your family. This
Right.
new little girl found it,
Exactly.
so
Yep.
and it was at perfect time when she needed it, so
Yes.
that was
Exactly.
really, really good story,
Yeah,
really
that was cute. Good for the fall. Good for a night like this. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And when they said they had the tea party, that sounds good. Whenever it's cold outside, it's fall and we'll be getting into the winter. I don't
Yeah.
know if you all like tea. I like tea, but there's hot chocolate, hot
Yeah.
cocoa, all those different things that you
Yeah.
can wrap up in your quilt and sip your hot chocolate or hot tea.
Exactly.
Some of you might even have fireplaces that you can sit by and
Oh
keep warm,
yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean, and things like that. So
That is
it's
true. That
very,
is.
very quilts are very they bring back very good memories, and they just feel so comforting, you
They
know?
do. They do. I have a couple of quilts actually
Yeah.
downstairs.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they're fun to wrap up on the couch and, like I said, have tea
Have
or
tea.
you know what? Some people warm milk, cookies. I mean,
Yeah,
oh
well,
my
that's
goodness.
right, that's right.
Yep.
I know that we would sometimes people used to leave, cookies out for Santa and all that kinda stuff, and
Yep.
there was always a blanket for some
Yes.
reason. It
Yep.
seemed like it was decoration, but it was always a quilt. Around Christmas and Thanksgiving holidays, you see a lot of quilts and blankets come out,
You
you know?
do. You do.
This
Yes.
is that
Yeah.
time of year, and I hope you all have your favorite quilt or blanket, to stay warm and try not to get a cold like me and Miss Lee did.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Keep your hands washed, please.
Oh, yeah. You're right. You are absolutely right because I think, some of it's just like you said, Miss Lee. This what we have could have come from allergies because it
Yeah,
started out with sneezing
that's
and it's
right.
not really bad. I felt worse than this before, but it's just
Mhm.
annoying little cough and
Exactly.
things like that.
Exactly.
So keep your hands clean, keep your sanitizer around if you have little pocket sanitizers and things
Yeah.
like that, you
Yep.
know, hands out of your face. It's hard.
Right.
It's
Yes.
harder than you think. It's harder for grown-ups to not
Yeah.
scratch your
Not
eye or,
to rub your eyes. Exactly. You're right.
Mhm.
It's very hard. You forget. Easy to forget.
Yes.
Easy to forget.
Absolutely. Well, it has been a great, great story, and I know I feel nice and relaxed,
Me
for
too.
the
Me too.
rest of this week. I know that this is a big week for some of the adults out there that'll be going out and voting. So just
Yes.
like Miss Lee says, when we wish you all the prosperous and blessed week, we wish all of you adults
Yeah.
also because you
Definitely.
adults are the nurturers of the children. Our children are the future. So we want you guys to encourage the children, have those conversations, no matter who you're voting for, whatever you go out here and do. Make sure you have the conversations with the children about voting and why it's important, and not just for African American and any other, races of the country, but just overall. At one point, women couldn't vote. At one point, Black people couldn't vote. At one point, there's so many things, and the children are so important because you all are the ones who are going to shape our future.
Yes.
So, parents, please have the conversations with your children. It's private. You don't, this is whoever you're voting for is your business. It's not, that has nothing to do with it. It's a matter of having the conversations and getting out here and letting your voice be heard for whatever you're standing behind. Make sure that you are out there casting your vote so that your voices can be heard, and
Yes.
which, direction you go in, and have those conversations with your children so that they too will know the importance of doing so when they get old enough to have that privilege.
Yes. That is true. Yes. Be safe at the polls, please, everyone. And
On your surroundings,
yeah.
unfortunately, we live in a world that, people do things, but mind your surroundings and just stand on, your truth, and go out there and exercise your privilege, because it
Yeah.
was a point that many people didn't have, and it's not even necessarily isolated to the color of your skin, so it
Mhm.
is definitely something that was for many and many a years our forefathers and mothers fought for these rights for all of us to be able to cast our vote so that our voice can be heard. So be sure that you do that and be safe doing that, and take your kids with you if they're out of school so that they can see the surroundings and be
Yeah.
exposed to this.
Yep.
You can talk to them about it along the way, the importance of it. Even,
Exactly.
while you're voting for who you are voting for, talk to that amongst your own household, and the importance of why those things are important to you. A lot of homeowners and business owners, different things. So you all get into it and go out there and exercise that privilege.
Definitely, definitely, yes. And we hope you feel better this week, Miss BB, because we cannot wait to hear about your adventures in Florida.
Oh, yeah. I am so I
Cannot
have
wait.
pictures. I can't wait to show you guys. I have pictures. I have a lot of things to show you guys. So it has been so much fun. I mean, the every part of it was fun. But Gatorland, when I show you all
Right.
the pictures and all of the, I don't particularly like going to the zoo because I
Mhm.
always feel so bad for the animals. But
Right. Right.
this was a little different. It's like a zoo, but it's not. I mean, you there's a story with each of these animals and why they're there. And they had thousands of animals. I mean,
Wow.
over 40,000 alligators, but they had foxes, they had tigers, they had mountain lions. And these
Wow.
are all endangered animals who got rescued
Okay.
and, so that they wouldn't be killed. They have an alligator who has no top jaw, and her name is
Wow.
Jolene.
Right.
Beautiful, only has the bottom jaw,
Okay.
and they don't know if a person or another animal did it to her. But
Wow.
she was rescued, and she's been with them for 2 years now. The
Okay.
animals look so healthy. It was really a beautiful place to be. I've
That's
never felt that good seeing animals, behind fences, and it was
right.
wonderful. It was
You know why?
wonderful.
Because they was a different. They were rescue animals, so that's
These
really, really
every single one, the snakes, they had pythons bigger than me, but
wow.
they each had a story as to why they were there. They had a name and a story and how they were rescued. I mean, they had they had tortoises that were hundreds of years old. I
Wow.
mean, you wouldn't believe, and albino tortoise. So
Oh,
not
neat.
only do people have different shades of skin, we're all different shades, different sizes, you
Yeah.
know, different hair types. Animals too are different.
Mhm.
Does
Mhm.
it not make something wrong with them? They're uniquely different, and
Yep.
they fit in the whole of everything. So just like you and I, and just like everybody that listens, everybody's different and
Yep.
have something special, a magical power to bring to the world, just like the
Right.
animals do.
Yep.
So I will definitely share more of that next week. My voice should be backing up and running, and I'll make sure to post those pictures throughout the week as well, so everybody can see them and we can talk about them next.
Yes. You know what? I got to post those Halloween pictures too. Definitely have to post
Absolutely.
those.
I have a Halloween picture to post
Yeah.
as well.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
yes,
Oh yeah,
yes,
you do. So yeah, we'll
yes,
work on that for you guys so you can see
yes.
it. If you guys have any pictures, please post them to the
Post
page.
them
We
up,
love them. Yes.
absolutely, absolutely, and we love you all and want you all
Yep.
to have a great week.
Love
Um,
you.
can't wait to see you next week.
Cannot wait. You guys have a blessed week, everybody.
Bye.
All right. Love you.